The glass doors of Monarch Elite Motors parted with a soft hydraulic sigh, releasing a wave of cool, perfumed air into the sun-beaten afternoon. Inside, the showroom shimmered like a cathedral of wealth. Polished obsidian tiles stretched beneath a ceiling draped in crystal lighting. Chrome accents, spotless leather interiors, and the hum of quiet, curated jazz set a tone that separated this place from the world outside. Every inch of the space whispered one message: only the powerful belong here. Leon Carter stepped through the threshold, absorbing the grandeur with a calm, measured breath. Not a single part of him was intimidated. He had walked into rooms far more dangerous, negotiated contracts that would drown most executives, and built wealth brick by brick until his company stood among the most respected engineering manufacturers on the West Coast. But today he didn't come as the CEO, the innovator, the quiet force behind industries that never knew his name. Today, he was just a father fulfilling a promise. His jeans were faded from hours spent volunteering at construction sites for the youth centers he personally funded. His shirt still smelled faintly of sawdust. His boots, functional, worn, familiar, left soft marks on the pristine floor. It was exactly because of outfits like this that Leon preferred to dress simply on his days off. Clothes didn't change a man's worth. They only changed how small people judged him. As he walked in deeper, the buzz of sales conversations began to shift. Eyes flicked toward him, then away just as quickly. At first, the glances were subtle, tiny frowns, eyebrow raises, the quick once-over of someone deciding silently that he didn't fit the aesthetic. But the longer he stood there, admiring a sleek Onyx executive sedan, the more pronounced the shifts became. A pair of sales associates whispered behind a brochure stand. One manager glanced at him, then at his boots, and sighed in irritation. Leon had seen it all before. Still, he waited. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, not a single greeting. Instead, employees passed him like he was an inconvenient smudge on their showroom floor. Leon inhaled slowly through his nose, forcing patience into his lungs. He wasn't here to start anything. He came only to keep a promise to his daughter, Talia, who was graduating valedictorian in a week. He wanted her to have a car she could rely on, one that honored the miles she had fought through to reach this moment. His eyes locked on the sedan again. Elegant lines, perfect safety ratings, a quiet strength to its build. He imagined her stepping into it with pride, knowing she earned every inch of her future. He was about to seek out a salesperson himself when a harsh, slicing voice cracked across the floor. "What is this doing here?" Leon turned. Carlton Reeves, the dealership manager, approached with a stride that carried more ego than substance. His suit was expensive but loud. His hair was gelled with unnecessary precision, and his smirk, sharp, theatrical, cruel, was the kind worn by a man who believed authority excused disrespect. Carlton didn't come close enough to shake hands. He stopped just short of polite distance, as if afraid proximity might stain him. "You lost?" he asked, his voice dripping amusement. "This isn't the bargain lot." Leon kept his expression neutral. "I'm interested in the performance package for this model." Carlton raised an eyebrow, exaggeratedly, his acting meant for an audience. "Are you?" Not a question. A performance. Carlton stepped aside, almost dramatically positioning himself so customers nearby could see, and hear, what came next. "That vehicle is $92,000, he announced loudly. "You know how many zeros that is?" A couple browsing luxury SUVs turned to watch. A teenager pretended to take a selfie but angled his phone to capture video. A woman in a sapphire dress hid a chuckle behind manicured fingers. Leon's jaw tightened, but his voice stayed level. "I understand exactly what it costs." Carlton laughed, big, booming, condescending. The kind of laugh meant to entertain the room, not respond to the man in front of him. "Some people come here to take pictures," he said with a dismissive wave. "Others come to waste time." Leon didn't flinch. He didn't explain. He owed this man nothing. Carlton's tone sharpened into open cruelty. "You're making my real buyers uncomfortable." He leaned in slightly. "Go back to wherever you came from. We don't play pretend with luxury." A few customers snickered. Others looked away in shame, but not one person spoke up. Leon felt humiliation tighten around him like a steel band. He knew this feeling. Public judgment, silent prejudice, the assumption that he was less because he didn't look like wealth. But feelings didn't define him. His actions did. So he turned, walked out, head held high. Silence followed him. Not the silence of respect, but the uncomfortable quiet of people who suddenly felt the weight of their own complicity. Outside, he sat in his truck. The irony wasn't lost on him. He owned more of that building than anyone inside knew. 3 years ago, his manufacturing firm had inked a major supply deal with the conglomerate that owned Monarch Elite Motors. His innovations helped expand their premium product line. His technology powered several of the high-performance vehicles they proudly displayed. But Carlton didn't care about facts. Carlton cared about appearances. Leon took a steadying breath, reached for his phone, and dialed a number saved under R. Kapoor, General Counsel. Rahul picked up on the second ring. "Leon? Everything all right?" Leon rarely called unannounced. Rahul heard more in silence than most heard in speeches. Leon explained what happened, briefly, calmly, without theatrics. He didn't embellish. He didn't vent. But Rahul felt the weight anyway. "I'll handle this," Rahul said quietly. Leon didn't ask for punishment. He asked only for respect. And 1 hour later, the universe returned the debt. Back inside the dealership, the atmosphere shifted abruptly when the reception phone rang. Sharp, piercing, cutting through idle chatter. The receptionist answered, her expression morphing from polite neutrality to wide-eyed shock. Mr. Reeves?" she called, voice trembling. Carlton strutted over, irritation etched across his face. "This better be important." The receptionist held the receiver like a live wire. "They're asking for you." "From corporate." Carlton's confidence faltered. Corporate didn't call managers directly. Ever. But he smoothed his tie, pasted on a smile, and grabbed the phone. "Yes, this is Carlton." His face drained of color. "No, sir, I didn't. There must be a misunderstanding. Please, let me explain." His voice cracked. Every employee pretended not to listen. Every customer stopped pretending. Carlton staggered back from the counter like he'd been punched. The assistant manager hurried over. "Carlton? What happened?" Carlton swallowed hard. "I've been terminated. Effective immediately." His badge deactivated before he even stepped off the floor. The showroom lights reflected off his stunned, pale face as corporate directives rolled in. Leadership change point: zero tolerance for discrimination. Immediate review of customer engagement standards. Public apology to be issued. Whispers replaced laughter. People exchanged uneasy looks. Some felt guilty. Others suddenly remembered every moment they'd ignored. 2 corporate representatives arrived within minutes, suits sharp, steps purposeful. "Has this happened before?" they asked. Silence answered them louder than words. Leon didn't return to witness the fallout. He drove to a competitor dealership across town, one where the first words spoken to him were, "Welcome in. How can we assist you today?" Polite, warm, professional. Respect didn't need to be requested. It was given freely. Leon found the perfect car for Talia, a pearl-white midsize sedan with top-tier safety features and a smooth, graceful drive. He took a slow test drive, imagining his daughter's smile, her careful hands gripping the steering wheel, the pride in her eyes. The salesman treated him like a valued customer from the moment he walked in to the moment he signed the papers. When the keys dropped into his palm, they carried not just metal and machinery, but vindication. Not through power, not through punishment, through self-control. He didn't gloat. He didn't return to rub salt in anyone's wounds. He kept his dignity, and dignity repaid him. 1 week later, sunlight danced off the pearl-white car parked in front of the ceremony hall. Talia stepped outside, cap in one hand, gown swaying lightly around her ankles. When she saw the car, she froze. Tears filled her eyes instantly. "Dad, how did you?" Leon smiled softly. "I promised you." She threw her arms around him, sobbing against his shoulder. "It wasn't the car. It was the meaning behind it. Never let anyone decide your worth based on what they think they see," Leon said. Talia nodded against him. But behind them, unseen, a pair of eyes watched. A man in a gray suit leaned on a lamppost across the street, phone in hand, expression unreadable. He took 2 quiet photos, one of the car, one of Talia, and sent them to a number saved as unknown director, priority. A single reply arrived seconds later. Confirmed. She's the one. Proceed. The man pocketed his phone, blending into the crowd as if he'd never been there. Leon and Talia drove off, laughing together, unaware their lives, so recently restored, were now drifting toward a storm neither of them saw coming. What happened at that dealership was never just about humiliation. It awakened someone else. Someone with motives far deeper than wounded pride. Someone who had been waiting for a reason to move against Leon. And now, they had found their leverage. Talia. Night settled slowly over the Carter home, draping the quiet suburban street in a soft, dark glow. The graduation celebration had ended with laughter, speeches, and more pride than Leon's heart could hold. Talia was upstairs now, replaying videos of her big day, still in awe of the gift that waited in the driveway. The pearl-white sedan gleamed beneath the street lamp like a promise made visible. Leon sat at the dining table, a cup of mint tea cooling between his hands. All evening he had tried to shake a strange feeling, something like a whisper pressing against his ribs. Not fear, not worry, just a sense that the world's balance had shifted ever so slightly. He chalked it up to exhaustion and pride colliding. But outside, in a dark sedan idling 3 houses down, someone else sat awake, watching, waiting. The man in the gray suit from earlier, the one who photographed Talia, had followed her home. He watched the lights in the Carter home slowly extinguish one by one. When only one bedroom window still glowed, he lifted binoculars, observing the silhouette moving behind the curtains. A quiet vibration buzzed in his coat pocket. He answered immediately. "Status?" A voice asked on the other end, smooth, cold, controlled. "She's confirmed. Leon Carter's daughter." There was a soft inhale. "Good. Phase 2 begins tomorrow." The line went dead. The man in gray lowered the phone, eyes never leaving the warm light in the second-floor window. Then, without a sound, he started the engine and drove away, swallowed by the darkness. Inside the house, Leon finally turned in for the night, unaware that the shadow he walked away from at the dealership had already found a new target. The first sign. Talia woke the next morning glowing with joy. She nearly danced down the stairs to the kitchen where Leon was stirring oatmeal on the stove. "Morning, Dad." Leon turned with a smile. "Look at you. I've never seen anyone this excited to wake up on a Saturday." Talia hugged him from behind, chin resting on his shoulder. "The whole world just feels possible." He kissed the top of her head. "It is." But when Talia walked to the front door to grab the morning paper, the first crack in their perfect moment appeared. The paper was there, yes, but something else lay atop it. A single white envelope. No stamp. No address. Just a typed label. Talia Carter. Talia frowned, holding it up. "Dad? Did you put this here?" Leon turned immediately. "No. Let me see that." He took the envelope from her, cautious. His instincts sharpened. He examined the seams, held it to the light, then slowly opened it. Inside was one photograph. Talia, standing in her graduation cap, smiling. But the angle, the distance, this was not taken by family. Not by anyone who stood near them. This photo was taken secretly. From across the street, without their knowledge, and at the bottom corner, typed in small, deliberate font. So much potential. So much to lose. Talia's breath hitched. Leon's hand tightened around the photo until the edges bent. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't admiration. This was a message. Leon walked Talia back inside, locking the door and checking the windows automatically. His movements were calm but heavy. "Did you see anyone watching us yesterday?" he asked. Talia shook her head. "No. I mean, there were crowds everywhere." Leon nodded slowly. This wasn't random. Someone wanted him to know they could reach his daughter. But why? His mind sifted through possibilities. Business competitors, disgruntled partners, political groups he had refused funding to. But mostly he thought about the dealership incident. Corporate humiliation didn't turn into stalking. Unless someone inside Monarch Elite Motors had more to lose than Carlton Reeve. Someone higher. Someone with power. Leon picked up his phone. Rahul. Rahul would know who had access to personnel files, client backgrounds, photographs, addresses, anything. He dialed. No answer. He tried again. Voicemail. Leon's heartbeat thudded uncomfortably. Rahul always answered. Always. Something was wrong. Leon grabbed his keys. Talia, stay inside. Lock the doors. Don't open for anyone but me. I'm going to check on someone. Her eyes widened. Dad, what's happening? Leon cupped her face gently. Nothing that will touch you. I won't let it. But as Leon drove across town toward Rahul Kapoor's condo, thoughts churned like storm clouds behind his stern expression. When he arrived, the lobby receptionist recognized him immediately. Mr. Carter? Are you looking for Mr. Kapoor? Leon nodded. Yes. Is he home? He isn't answering. The receptionist's face shifted strangely, like someone swallowing the wrong truth. Sir, Mr. Kapoor hasn't returned since yesterday morning. Leon's jaw clenched. Was he traveling? No. Did someone come for him? The receptionist glanced around, then lowered her voice. 2 men in black suits arrived last night. They asked for him by name. He left with them. I tried to ask questions, but they weren't the type who answer questions. Leon stepped back slowly. 2 men. Black suits. No explanations. Corporate. Or government. Or worse, private. This was officially bigger than a dealership firing. Much, much bigger. That evening as dusk rolled in, Leon returned home with bags of groceries, trying to look normal for Talia's sake. She was curled on the couch, scrolling her phone, music playing softly behind her headphones. He was about to enter the kitchen when he froze. The sliding door in the living room, the one leading to the backyard, was slightly open, just an inch. But Leon never left that door unlocked. Ever. He set the grocery bags down silently. His eyes scanned the room. Then he saw it. A second envelope, placed neatly on the coffee table. This one was black. Elegant. Expensive. Leon approached slowly. Inside was no photo. Just a single typed line. You should have let Carlton keep his job. Now we play a different game. Leon's blood ran cold. This wasn't from angry customers. Not from a jealous manager. Not from some corporate bureaucrat. This was someone with a personal vendetta. Someone who believed Leon's quiet act of dignity had cost them something bigger than Carlton's position. Someone willing to escalate. Leon looked toward the stairs where Talia's soft footsteps paced lightly above. Whatever this was, it wasn't done. And tonight proved something terrifying. Whoever was targeting them could get inside their home. Around midnight, Leon sat in the dark living room, the black envelope beside him, lights off, waiting. He wasn't afraid. He was focused. But when he heard the whisper of gravel shifting outside, every muscle in his body coiled. Leon slid quietly to the window and peered out. A shadow moved near the driveway. Approaching the new car. Talia's car. Leon grabbed the metal crowbar he kept hidden behind the coat closet. His steps were silent as he slipped through the kitchen to the side door. The moment he pushed outside, he was met with the soft metallic clink of something being taped beneath the car. Leon's chest tightened. A tracker, or worse. "Hey!" Leon shouted, voice thundering through the night. The figure bolted instantly, sprinting between two houses toward the alley. Leon chased. The night wind tore past him, gravel flying beneath his boots. The figure, dressed in black, agile, vaulted a fence. Leon was fast, but whoever this was, they had planned escape routes. Still, Leon grabbed the intruder's jacket just as they slipped through a narrow gap in the fence. The fabric tore cleanly. The attacker vanished. Breathing hard, Leon looked down. In his hand was a jagged shred of black fabric, with a corporate security patch sewn on the inside. Monarch Elite Motors, Executive Division. Leon's blood turned to ice. This wasn't revenge for Carlton's humiliation. This was retaliation from someone above him. Someone who didn't want Leon's influence anywhere near their world. Someone who wanted control. Someone who had now made one thing clear. They weren't after Leon. They wanted Talia. Her safety. Her freedom. Her future. All now weapons in someone else's war. Leon stared into the dark alley, chest heaving, heart hammering with a rage he hadn't felt in years. Whoever they were, their first mistake was thinking he was an easy man to intimidate. Their second mistake? Touching his daughter's world. And he would teach them that every action carried a price. A price heavier than arrogance. A price heavier than fear. A price no one could afford to pay once they crossed a man like him. But as Leon walked back to the house, gripping the torn security patch, another realization hit him. If someone at the executive level was involved, then Talia wasn't in danger because of Carlton. She was in danger because of something far more powerful. Something buried deep inside the company Leon supplied. Something someone did not want him discovering, and they were willing to take Talia to keep it hidden. Next cliffhanger setup. A corporate-level conspiracy is targeting Talia to get to Leon. But why? Part 3 will reveal the truth behind the executive division, the secret Leon wasn't meant to learn, and the hidden reason Talia has become the center of a dangerous game. The city felt different tonight. Not quieter, not calmer, just watchful. Leon Reed stepped out of the elevator into the penthouse suite where Talia had been moved earlier that morning. Secured floor, private entry, 2 guards on rotation, and no one allowed within 20 feet without clearance. But as he entered, he saw her sitting by the window, knees drawn up, looking out over the skyline with the kind of stillness that didn't belong to a child. Leon approached carefully. "Talia?" She didn't turn at first. "They followed me, Dad." His chest tightened. "I know. And I'm handling it." Her small fingers curled against her legs. "But why me? Why would anyone want to scare me?" Leon knelt beside her. "They weren't after you. They were after me. Someone wanted to send a message. You were the closest way." She looked at him then, eyes big and filled with something far older than her age. "Will they try again?" "No," Leon said quietly. "Because they don't know who they just woke up." He gently brushed her hair behind her ear. "Everything I do now, everything that happens next, it's not just business anymore." She nodded, but the fear lingered at the edges of her voice. "I don't want to be afraid, Dad." He swallowed hard. "You won't be. I promise." Her breathing steadied, and for the first time since the incident at the girls' club, she leaned into him, resting her forehead against his chest. Leon closed his eyes. He had fought competitors, billionaires, boards, corruption, and scandals. But this was different. This was personal blood. And someone, somewhere, had just crossed the one line he never allowed. At 11:31 p.m., Leon stepped into a low-lit underground parking deck deep beneath the city's financial district. 3 black SUVs were parked in a precise formation. 2 in front, 1 behind, blocking traffic flow. In the middle, standing with hands in his pockets, was Elias Maddox, Chief Financial Officer of Maddox Automotive Group. Carlton Maddox's uncle. Older, sharper, quieter, and infinitely more dangerous. Elias watched Leon approach, face unreadable. He didn't move when Leon reached him. "Mr. Reed," Elias said calmly. "You've been busy." Leon's voice was low. "Someone targeted my daughter." Elias studied him for a moment, then gave the faintest nod. "The photographs on the windshield. The men following her." Leon's jaw tightened. "You know." "I know, it wasn't Carlton." Elias' voice didn't waver. "He doesn't have that kind of subtlety." "And you do?" Leon asked. Elias smiled, but it wasn't a friendly expression. "I have never used a child to deliver a message." Leon stared at him, trying to read the truth under the man's icy exterior. "And who would?" Leon demanded. Elias lifted his chin. "That," he said, "is why I asked for this meeting." He reached into his coat and pulled out a slim folder. Inside were photos, documents, internal emails, transfer, receipt, surveillance, timestamp. And at the top of the stack, the name of a shell corporation Leon didn't recognize. Elias held it out. Leon didn't take it. "Why should I trust you?" Leon asked. "You shouldn't," Elias replied. "But you do want to protect your daughter." Leon's hand finally closed around the folder. Elias stepped back. "What's happening to you isn't about Carlton. It isn't about a dealership. It isn't about a public meltdown. You embarrassed the wrong people. People with power. People who aren't constrained by morality." Leon opened the folder. His eyes widened. "What is this?" he whispered. "Your real enemy," Elias said. "The one who gave Carlton the confidence to disrespect you. The one who authorized the surveillance on your daughter. The one who orchestrated everything." Leon looked up slowly. Elias Maddox exhaled. "It's someone inside your own company." The air turned colder. Leon read. Each page tightened a knot that had been sitting in his chest since the night he found Talia's car vandalized. There were emails. There were late-night transfers. There were directives to watch Leon's movements. There were recordings, voices he recognized. Voices from inside his board. Voices he had trusted. Elias continued, "He's been wanting your position for years." Carlton's incident simply became the spark to accelerate his plan. Leon's breath slowed. Because the name on the final page wasn't a stranger. It wasn't even an enemy he had seen coming. It was a man who shook his hand every Monday morning. A man who smiled at Talia on Take Your Child to Work Day. A man he had promoted. Leon shut the folder. When he looked up, his eyes were different, no longer angry but lethal. "Thank you," Leon said. "Don't thank me," Elias replied. "I'm not helping you. I'm protecting my family's legacy. Carlton is an embarrassment, but he is still a Maddox, and whoever targeted your daughter, they have no boundaries. They are a threat to all of us." Leon took a breath. "You want an alliance." "For now," Elias said. "But understand this, when this is over, you and I go back to being competitors." "Fine," Leon said. "Right now? I need answers." "And you will get them," Elias said. "But first," he leaned in slightly, "you need to get your daughter somewhere safer." Leon's brow furrowed. "Safer than a private secured penthouse?" Elias nodded once. "If this man is moving the way I think he is, then yes." A silence stretched between them. Leon's voice was a growl. "What is he planning?" Elias's face darkened. "He's planning to remove you. Permanently." Leon didn't blink. He didn't flinch. He didn't move. He just breathed in once. Deep, controlled, cold. Then he turned and walked away. Elias didn't call out to stop him. Because he understood something. A man with nothing to fear is dangerous. But a man with a child to protect? Is unstoppable. The next morning, Leon didn't go to his office. He walked into the boardroom instead. Every executive froze. Every assistant went silent. Every secretary stepped aside. He pushed open the double doors and stepped inside the 30-seat oak chamber where the company's largest decisions were made. The board chairman, his betrayer, was already waiting. The man smiled when he saw Leon. "Leon," he said calmly, "we need to talk." Leon looked him dead in the eyes. "We will." Chairs creaked as everyone slowly sat. The chairman folded his hands. "I heard about your unfortunate incident with your daughter. You have my sympathy." Leon kept his expression unreadable. The chairman continued, "But we can't allow personal issues to drift into corporate instability." A few board members shifted uncomfortably. Leon reached into his coat and placed Elias Maddox's folder on the center of the table. The chairman's smile faltered. Leon didn't speak at first. He simply opened the folder and slid a single sheet toward the chairman, the one bearing his name. The chairman's face drained of color. "You," Leon said quietly, "made a mistake." Silence spread like smoke. "A mistake," Leon continued, "thinking that fear would make me fold. Thinking that threatening my daughter would break me. Thinking you could use Carlton Maddox's meltdown as a tool to remove me." The chairman licked his lips. "Leon, you're misinterpreting." "No," Leon said softly. "I'm finally seeing clearly." He leaned forward. "And now you're going to lose everything." When security arrived, none of them touched Leon. They touched the chairman, dragged him out of the boardroom, screaming, threatening, cursing Leon's name. But Leon just stood there, unmoving, unbothered, untouchable. Several board members stared at him with a mixture of fear and admiration. He didn't look at them. He looked at the empty seat where the chairman used to sit. Then he turned and walked out. That night, Leon sat at the edge of Talia's bed as she slept. Her breathing was soft. Her curls spilled over her pillow. She was safe. For now. But as Leon watched her, he knew one thing with absolute certainty. Power wasn't about money. Power wasn't about titles. Power wasn't about companies or boards or deals. Power was about who you could protect, and what you were willing to burn down to keep them safe. He gently tucked the blanket around her and whispered, "It's over." But as he stood up to leave, his phone vibrated. Unknown number. A single message. "It's not over." Leon stared at it. His heartbeat didn't spike. His breathing didn't change. He simply typed back, "Then come," and turned off the phone. The city outside glowed with its usual indifference, but Leon Reed was no longer a target. He was a warning. If you enjoyed this story and want more powerful black-led narratives like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps stories like this alive.